Hi, how's it going? Today I'm gonna remake a live that I tried to do yesterday 2 times, but I wasn't capable to saving the Instagram. I didn't know what happened, but it didn't save it. And this live was about learning a song by Hermeto Pascoal. And if you don't know Hermeto Pascoal, he is one of the most inventive composers in Brazil today. His music mixture a lot of influences, like the music from the people of Brazil, the traditional music, Brazilian music, but it has some influences of the modern composers with polytonalism, some complex rhythms, and something he mixtured with noises, and his concept is very open and modern. For who doesn't know, Hermeto Pascoal is now 80 years old, and he has his work in progress, producing a lot. He has lots and lots of compositions, and I think one thing interesting for musicians, he creates some own way to write some chords that I think it's very interesting, and he calls his music of universal music because it joins everything that is possible, and how can I say? He joins cultures. He joins all he thinks that's necessary to do good music with quality. If you don't know, Hermeto Pascoal was recorded by Miles Davis, and there is some interesting story about this. That Miles stole some compositions, and Hermeto doesn't tell this. He deals with it with a very good humor. He's a very generous composer and a very generous person also. It's very interesting to see, and if you see some videos of him, he's gonna be playing some very complex pieces, but sometimes he's gonna be doing music with some objects, some very different objects. In the live yesterday, I've memorized not, but I have learned to play a song by his book that's called Calendário do Som. Calendário do Som, it's a book with 365 compositions that he did, one for each day of the year. He started on 1996 and he finished it in 1997 with this 365 compositions. And I've learned this composition yesterday. I've taught some, and I have taught some particularities that you often will find in his compositions. He has his own way to write the chords, some chords, alright, he uses the normal way of writing, but he has some special way to write some voicings using the symbols that we know as symbols for chords, and he mixtured some traditional concepts of music with some modern ones. And I'm gonna play for you. I'm gonna do this short live talking about the interesting things that happened in this process of learning a song. That I used the techniques, that like spacing, the different cycles of understanding, and at the end I improvised on it. When I lost the first live, I drew a shorter one that I played more and improvised more, And now I'm gonna do this playing and comment about these details of compositions and about this way of writing music. I'm gonna show a common sheet you're gonna find in the music of Hermeto Pascoal. It's often just you find this kind of sheet music written by hand and by his hand, and with the chords written over the under the melody. And we are gonna comment some things, some special things that happen in this kind of lead sheet. It will be we're gonna have some rules just to read the music by Hermeto Pascoal, to don't create confusions. All right. So this will be my first play of today. I don't expect to play right all the notes or all the chords, all right? But as I'm repeating, it's gonna improve, all right? I don't have sound here. Let me turn on my... Do I have sound? I don't have sound here. What's happening? Now it's okay. Sorry. Let's start. So this was the composition 13th of October 13th of 1996 that I've chosen because it's the date of my birthday, and there are some details that are very important to say. It sounds like a traditional, it sounds like a common song, but we can find some details that we can identify as Hermeto's song. All right. We have three lines written, one telling the rhythm, the melody, the harmony, in the last, but in the middle you're gonna find the rhythm of the chords. And in this case they are very simple, sometimes two chords to one tempo, sometimes to one beat, sometimes the chords one chord per beat, and no problem. There are some typical things about the language of Hermeto. Let's talk about this last chord of the first measure. You're gonna find F with E on bass. And commonly this chord would be for other styles. A minor with E on bass sounds less dissonant, but Hermeto has had this intention. And you're gonna find again a C with B on bass. Besides doing an E minor, that's much more consonant. Note, it's very characteristic of this chord in his music. And in the third measure of this second system, you're gonna find typical chord written by Hermeto. The musicians call the cluster way, the way to write clusters. When Hermeto has one chord over another, he's telling that the first one will be played by the right hand with the intervals. So you are seeing C, 4, 5 plus, 7 plus. The plus sign means that your interval can be augmented, or in case of major intervals can be a major interval. In case of the seventh, it's a major seventh. And the lower part means just the bass. So you're gonna have this chord. It's an E, a C 4 5 7 over E, and this could be, we can understand this chord as an E, E major with flat 9 and sharp 13th. Alright, so it's this. Normally people would play on flat 9 chord just, but he wanted this chord. Alright, in the same measure of this chord you're gonna find a more usual chord, but it's in D minor 6 with E on bass. That chord is a Phrygian chord. It's a sus chord, E sus with flat 9 and it's and 7. E7 flat 9 sus. Alright, it's another way to write. You're gonna find a similar chord in the beginning, at the beginning of the first system, the third system. It's a G minor 6 with A on bass. This chord would be called an A7 flat 9, A7 sus flat 9, alright, that we call Phrygian chord. Alright, at the third system you're gonna find a common chord to Hermeto that we can explore in all kinds of music, that it's a sus chord at G sus 7 9, but he played the third on the melody. Hermeto often explores this chord with the melody on the sus chord with the melody on the third. It gives an Lydian effect. And why a Lydian effect? If you have a G, sus. You are playing an F major 7 over an G, a G. If you play the augmented fourth of F major 7, you're gonna have the B note, alright? So you create the Lydian effect. It's not Lydian because of the bass, it's Mixolydian, alright? But you have a similar with the Lydian effect. If you have difficulty to understand this kind of subject, just write for me, right? We can talk about in a more detailed way. And in the last measure of this third system, you're gonna find C, a G, 4, 5, 8 over C. This sus2, or sus9 chord, at 9 chord. Sus2. And because of the melody, we're gonna have an F that will make it sound as an sus chord with 9. Alright, what else? Let me see if I have some more important chord to show you. Let me give you some more examples. There is an interesting example that I've seen about in the music of Hermeto, that you have 3 chords. One you have F over E flat over D, and how to think them? The last would be always the bass note, but the 2 in the upper part will be chords. So you can play an F in this hand, an E flat, and you join everything. This is typical in Hermeto's music. Sometimes he writes also an interval. For example, D over, let me invent something, C6. You won't think the lower part as a complete chord like a C major 6. No, you're gonna think just C and it's 6th, alright? And you join with another chord. This is the way that he created to give us the possibility to play the same way of the same voicing he wanted us to play. This is his solution for this, alright? So I think these details are very important. This is a very simple composition. Hermeto, like I said, has much more complex, very hard to hear sometimes songs, and they are very challenging for the ear. I recommend you to hear some things about him. And at the end of this live, I am gonna play and improvise this October 13th of 96 to you, and improvise some things. I'm gonna comment something if I remind, alright? I'm gonna play 1 or 2 times the theme. comes with energy. Sorry, let me from the beginning. Let me improvise. this live's being the most difficult live I'm doing of the year. I have more than 165 lives, and this was the first that gives me a lot of problems. I'm sorry again. Let me continue and improvise from the beginning. Today's not me. Alright. What's happening now? Alright. Alright. I'm gonna post this live. I'm sorry for this problems with energy. I don't know if I'm picking some cable but I'm gonna see, and if you think this live deserves a remake, this improvised deserves a remake, I'm gonna do again. Alright, but I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you have learned about the music of Hermeto Pascoal. That's very important in your reading of Brazilian music. And I'm gonna do more, and I'm gonna correct this content. Alright? And so that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry for the problems of this live. This is the third time that I try to do. And I'll do more about Hermeto. Hermeto deserves more deserves more than this. Alright? So thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow for more lives about Brazilian music and how to play it in an authentic way. Thanks, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.